Since that lack of personal growth wasn't something I was willing to tolerate any longer, we are not a couple anymore.
Oh.
Get it?
I hate to say this, but good.
Good.
I would just like to say that your independence just means you're an adult. If you're married, you don't have independence.
Right.
You have a teammate. You guys are supposed to be a cohesive unit. You've cleaved together. You don't get independence at that point. You're not an independent woman. You're married.
Right. I'm so over this nasal phlegm shit. I feel like I'm trying to inhale through like plastic strung up in my airways.
Now you know what turtles feel like. No.
I can't believe I recycle, I promise.
So stupid.
I would like to thank you both personally for the relationship advice, as both myself and my partner are autistic, same.
Both. And we are snacks.
We're snacks. Not my mind going gingerbread, gingerbread, gingerbread rock.
As you can see, this is the 1 year episode as we are back in onesies. Doing the thing. If we were to bite each other, would it be cannibalism? Get it? Gingers? It's been 1 year.
It's been a year. And what a year it's been. Almost 1 year since I found my faith.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. This all started at a kitchen table.
Yeah. Our kitchen table. And now we don't have one.
No, we don't actually own a kitchen table. We have a poker table, though.
We do have a poker table.
All right. Welcome to the first ever To Be Better podcast. We are the Chris's.
I never in a million years would have thought in December, if you would have told me that we would have a silver play button and 2 million followers across TikTok and, 100,000 on our personal account, which has only been active for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
And that, YouTube would be at 155,000 plus.
Instagram's at almost 60,000.
I would have never thought that our content would have been as important to people as it's turned out to be.
Me either.
And I think that's a good way to word it.
I think that's a really good way to word it too, because we don't keep things in our lives if it's not important to us.
Yeah. Yep. Podcast has evolved. It's going to de-evolve a little bit.
What do you mean de-evolve?
I know that, well, we talked a little bit this morning about the interview process.
Right.
I want to do interviews. Like I pushed for that because I wanted to get away from the emails because it got very heavy. But with the screeners and doing what they're doing and pacing ourselves, like it's not as bad as it was.
Right.
We really pushed ourselves pretty hard there for a little while. And all of that has kind of regressed a little bit. And as much as I want to do interviews, I want it to be on our terms. So like we have people behind the scenes that are supposed to be reaching out to people and getting us people to interview.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really need them to do that anymore. Like I don't want the podcast to be an interview podcast. I want it to be what we've been doing
And have little bonus episodes.
right. Things that we can do to meet other creators and enjoy our time and like to make it fun for us. So I've been focusing really hard on getting people to interview, and I'm still going to do that, but I'm not going to try to do 4 interviews a week. I'm going to try to interview people that I want to talk to and people that I think would be great for the garden segment. Would you have ever thought that you would have had your own standalone segment?
No. Gosh, no. Are you kidding me? Mm-mm. I didn't think people would enjoy it as much as they do.
Yeah, they love it.
I really thought it was going to flop, and I'd be like, okay, back to emails, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I have a bath line.
working on that.
Stuff is going to start arriving there soon to start actually making product. And
Your apothecary.
yeah. I actually talked, I can't remember, I talked about it somewhere, and people were saying that if I'm making tinctures and whatnot, they would buy it.
Yeah, it was on our Life account.
Was it the Life account?
That was a huge part of our comment section.
Really?
Is if you start selling tinctures, they want to buy them.
I'm also going to be doing magnesium oil.
Yeah.
in a spray.
Yeah. So let's shout out a couple things before we get into emails. We are going to just read updates today.
Yes.
No drama. It should be fun emails. Should be. It should be fun emails.
Should be.
But before we do that, tobebetterbrew.com, we have created a coffee this year. Well, we didn't create a coffee, but we have a coffee brand now. tobebetterbrew.com. We have done very little advertising for this.
We also have teas.
We do have teas on there. In 2024, that's something I want to really start pushing. I want to do like B-roll commercials and actually do that.
I want to do one where I have a latte mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to like really push that. Shout out to Matrix Hormones. You guys have been a big, I don't want to call you a sponsor because you're not sponsoring us. We have a partnership with you guys. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have been able to elevate quite as far as we did because there is a financial gain there, full disclosure. You guys have helped me get my hormones back to normal, got me feeling good. We've learned some stuff about peaches. So shout out to Matrix Hormones. If you guys have low testosterone or you think you have low testosterone, you're depressed, you're tired, or you're sleeping too much, not sleeping enough, you might have PCOS, get your blood panel done. If you go to matrixhormones.com, click on the new patient and click to be better, it'll save you $200 on your consultation. Even if you think that you have the perfect bill of health, get your blood work done because eventually you're not going to have a perfect bill of health and you will have a record showing what your perfect levels looked like so that when you go see your doctor and they go, well, your testosterone is a little bit lower than we would have liked. You could be like, really? Well, it used to be 1200, you know? You should have that. Ladies, you should have that as well because menopause is coming earlier for women now than it ever has before. So
And we're very complex creatures when it comes to hormones.
your labs are a lot harder than men's. You have your phone call with Matrix was double mine.
Yeah.
So highly recommend those guys. They've been very good to us. I'm going to shout out some people from Discord. I had the Wizards pull up 5 names from people who have been in the Discord for a while. And this is part of our Patreon community. So if you want access to the Discord, you have to join Patreon on the $15 tier. Shout out to Chaos Potato, Katie Bell, Julie Rocks, Polly Shea, Jessica Piotr, and Min. Also, shout out to Zach and Jenny. Thank you guys for everything you do. If it wasn't for the two of you, Discord would not be a thing.
Yeah, I would have set it on fire a long time ago.
Yeah, it really would have not lasted. We would, yeah, absolutely. We were so busy while that was going on, and you guys behind the scenes made all of that a thing. So you guys are the godfathers of Discord. So thank you for that.
I'm now picturing Zach and both Jenna, both of them, in suits with really big, like Persian cats and swivel chairs. One of them has a monocle. Yeah.
That's funny. Shout out to Patreon. You guys, we have people that are on our Patreon that have been there this entire time.
Since day one.
Right. Since we started it, that are still here. Thank you guys for believing in us before we believed in ourselves.
I still kind of don't believe in myself. So.
Yeah, this is so wild to me.
It is. Yeah, without you guys, this wouldn't be a thing. When you think about it, across all platforms, we have almost 2.3 million followers.
Yeah, that's accurate.
2.3 million followers.
That's insane. That's insane.
Thank you guys for this.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the early Patreon community supporting us the way that they did, though, this would have not been a thing.
Oh, gosh, no. I remember when we hit our first 10.
Me too.
You're like, think we're going to get to 100?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's nonstop growing.
Yep.
It's a really dope community.
So crazy to think about.
Thank you guys for still being here and for, like you said, still believing in us.
What?
I'm going to cry. We have a really dope playground for the kids in our yard.
Yeah.
That would have never been a thing if none of this. I don't know. It's just a lot.
You want to take a minute to brag about some of the things that we've done this year because of the Discord community and because of Patreon?
We can.
We helped somebody buy a house.
We did.
We sponsored a family for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We are working on, we were working on men and women's groups, but we have men's groups. We have been saving marriages.
We've donated for our faith.
Yeah, we have. We've actually done that quite a few times. We are working on helping people get a car. We have a lot. The community has not just helped us grow, but it's helped other people by proxy. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten a lot of emails of people saying that they've torn up divorce papers, people saying that we've salvaged a 25-year marriage.
Seeing divorce papers actually be thrown into a pit of fire.
Yeah.
That was really dope.
We've gotten a lot of wedding invitations. We're going to be crashing a wedding next year.
We will be. Who is it? You'll find out, fucker.
Yeah. Going to show up in a pair of overalls and a straw hat.
I'm going to get that white tank top and tie it in a knot right above your name on my stomach.
Oh, man. So speaking of Patreon, I think that I want to create another tier, and we were talking about this a little bit ago, and I think that we should do a $30. Well, you think. I said 25, you said 30. And I agree. I think a $30 tier would be better. That $30 tier will give everything that they currently get at the 15 and 20, well, at the $20 tier, because you'll get the extra partner name as well, so that you can bring your partner to Discord. But it'll do quarterly limited t-shirts that are exclusive just to that tier.
Right.
In the event that you need testers for soaps or tinctures or whatever that you're doing, we could send that out. If we want to test new content, if we want to do, quarterly live calls with a smaller group of people, I think that we should really explore that a little bit and then use that also as a platform launching into our meet and greets. So
Like they get first pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sell their tickets or whatever, or maybe give them discounted tickets or 50% off if they've been a supporter at that tier since it started or whatever.
You can do your business episodes pre-release to that tier before it trickles down to the rest of the Patreon.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things.
I got to be honest. I really don't know if I'm going to keep doing the business thing. Like, I really didn't think that video was going to do very well.
I saw comments. People were enjoying it.
Yeah, it did get some positivity, but I don't know. I don't have imposter syndrome anymore. I did when we first started this. Like, this is, I'm not a podcaster. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And obviously,
I still struggle with that.
Well, we are, because we are podcasters. 2.3 million followers across all of our platforms. We are fucking that. We absolutely are that. And I get that now. But to have conversations outside of our wheelhouse that is important to me, because I would love to see people thrive in business. We've helped people open businesses and helped people create LLCs and helped people, hire and fire and consulting. And like, we've done all of that. That's very important to me. And I think that the only way to truly have freedom in this country or anywhere really is to have financial freedom. Because when you're not upholden to being fucking broke and having to worry about things,
loans and borrowing, and
right, you get to do a lot more, and it does come with a whole lot of extra stresses. But that's a me thing. So, I definitely think that that's something that I really need to think about, because I don't know if I'm going to keep doing them, but it's a lot.
I think you will.
Why?
I think you're just in a really bad mindset right now, and this last interview wasn't the cream of the crop. So I think that once things start getting better situationally and you're in a better headspace and you have people who can actually have those kinds of conversations, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it with Matt Bell.
I did. Well, I enjoyed Matt Bell as a person. He was a lot of fun to talk to. He was very cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of similar struggles. So having the conversation with him was just a very easy thing. But I also really enjoyed having that conversation with Troy. And like, he put me in contact with the Brad guy that he was talking about.
Okay.
So I haven't followed up yet because we've been busy and because my mental health has been in the fucking dumps. I had a couple of, I don't want to do this anymore over the last few days.
I know.
And it's not because of the podcast. It's behind the scenes shit and my mental health. Things that normally would not affect me affected me way fucking hard.
I know.
But it is what it is. That's life. You're going to hit those speed bumps sometimes. You just don't want to do it at 120 miles an hour like I did. So be like that.
Yep. I'm sorry you're struggling.
Yeah, it'll pass.
You doing anything tonight?
You
promise? Thank you.
Oh, man. You gonna get into it?
I need a minute.
I'm gonna get a drink while you take a minute.
Can you also grab me a drink?
Yep.
Thank you.
It's very warm in here. I'm glad that this gimmick makes you happy because I feel silly as fuck. And I would like to point out that this zipper's like a ding dong. I understand that it's quick access to pee. Yeah. But I would be afraid to use this zipper.
Why?
What happens if I zip the boys up?
Tuck.
No.
What do you mean no? You got to put it in there, like stuff it into your outfit.
I should probably just wear underwear in this thing, huh?
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do got socks on.
Oh, those are the new Hollow.
Oh,
Hollow.
they're so good.
Hollow
so
socks.
good. Yep.
The
I
dude who
love
plays
them.
Jesus in The Chosen is now sponsoring that Hallow app. And that's every ad I'm seeing on TikTok is him with presents going, "Oh, hey." And I'm like, "It's Jesus." What?
I don't know what the Halo app is.
It is a Christian app for like daily devotionals and whatnot.
I get some of that from Mark Driscoll's website.
Yeah.
Daily devotionals. They do Bible scripture sent to the phone every day. All right, let's get into some content because we're 20 minutes of nonsense.
Update, you asked for it, and email read on the podcast. Hi, Chris and Peaches. I just saw the video asking for updates, so I'm sending mine. You both read my email in one of the earliest episodes of the podcast. Ooh, let's see if we remember.
Okay.
As a quick recap, I work full-time, do dog sitting and walking part-time, am a Lyft driver part-time, and I am going back to school to get my associate's degree. Love that Chris called me a hustler, LOL. My then partner was having trouble keeping a job, more than 20 jobs in 2 years.
I do remember this email. Yep, absolutely remember that email.
Me too. And we thought autism or something else might be at play. This was the guy who was like, I have ADHD.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember this.
Yep.
So now for the update. Since that time, he's now on his 5th job, 2 in the same field but different companies. His attitude about work didn't start to change until about 6 months ago because I terminated our lease and moved since I couldn't afford to pay for everything by myself. He came with me to the new place, but things didn't really improve until he got his most recent job in a new vehicle. Old one was totaled in an accident. In the past 6 weeks, he's had the thought to quit the job almost every night, but has chosen not to because he knows he will lose the new vehicle if he quits. A huge step in the right direction for him.
Okay, so let me pause you there. For everybody that's listening to this, you should work for the things you want, not for the things you have.
Right.
Right? Because if you work for the things you have, you're maintaining. If you're working for that shit you want, you're going to work harder. You're going to look for new ways to make income and revenue and like.
Yeah.
So like, and this is especially true when it comes to your women. You're like, babe, I want this. And I'm like, I can't make that happen. How the fuck am I supposed to make that happen? It's time to level up.
Have I done that?
It's happened a lot over the last year.
What do you mean?
You went from I don't want anything to do with any of this to I want to be an entrepreneur to a bath line and apothecary and helping me with this and trying to do that. And like, you have evolved and it's pushed me to work harder. It's pushed me to hire other people and try to figure out how to make things work. And it's not a bad thing. That's never a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you're like, I want a new Louis bag. And I'm like, I just bought you one last month. And you're like, I don't care. It's 12 grand. Make it
I thought
happen.
that's what you meant. I was like, oh my gosh, no, am I becoming greedy?
No, you should be working for something instead of working to keep something are two different things.
Right.
So I wonder if now, because he's got a little bit of taste of something nice, if he could realize like, yo, we could have a dope fucking house next if I just level up my work game. Like,
right. So one thing that came to my mind, instantaneous, might sound kind of shitty, was you guys losing the house you were living in wasn't enough for him to go, okay, maybe I need to step my game up.
Right. That's because she was supporting him, remember?
Right.
I know that you've got this Sith thing going on right now, but you should probably pull that back a little bit so that people can actually see your face.
Oh, it was nice and dark and cozy.
I know
in there.
it was, but it kept going further and further forward.
Okay. My second thought was, I'm glad that he now does have something that's making him wake up and realize, because I personally would not tolerate his behavior for the rest of my life. So
how dope would it have been though if it was her that he realized it for instead of a car?
Yeah, that would be the prime best example, but this is real life, and with real life comes with real disappointment. This is still good though.
It is. Well, I mean, we don't know. There could be. It could be good. It is definitely progress in that he hasn't quit his job yet.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, the next word is unfortunate.
Well, there you go.
He's now no longer willing to get a diagnosis or work on his personal issues. You're right. There was the real disappointment, guys.
You were the one that said disappointment.
I know.
Okay.
Well, the disappointment, I would be disappointed if I wasn't the reason you wanted to do good things in life. Like, your reason why for being happy and wanting to do things and level up is because you want cool shit, not to have a dope life with me. I would be disappointed in that.
I mean, isn't that the point of being in a relationship, though?
To do cool shit with each other?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can do it all on your own.
Right.
The whole point is to experience it with somebody.
Right. With no unnecessary disagreements or laziness.
Yeah.
I like riding dirt bikes with you.
Right. Or taking pictures or traveling or fucking watching stupid television shows or making fart jokes or playing poker. Like, our lives are better because of each other, not in spite of. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I would also be disappointed that he's no longer willing to work on personal issues or anything.
I agree.
Especially with seeing a spark of, oh, he gives a fuck. That would. Back into the email. Since that lack of personal growth wasn't something I was willing to tolerate any longer, we are not a couple anymore.
Oh.
Get it.
I hate to say this, but good.
Good. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. Find yourself a hustler. Somebody that's willing to match that effort you're putting into life.
We found each other and amassed a following of 2.3 million people in less than a year. Like, we got our energies together and really focused on shit after the turmoil of the hurricane and whatnot.
Yep.
I moved to a new apartment, and he moved to his own space a few towns away. We are still in each other's lives, but not romantically. Hopefully, this is the push he needs to work on himself. But as for me, it was sad at first because he had so many chances to at least show effort, but I'm doing a lot better now. I'm still working and dog sitting and driving for Lyft because I want to, not because I have to. But the things I've learned from and watched on your podcast and videos are lessons that I'll take with me into my next relationship, whatever happens. Thank you both for everything that you do.
Love that. You're welcome for everything that we do.
That was a dope update. I'm glad you're happy.
Me too.
Ready for it?
Yep.
This one, update, you asked for it.
That's what most of these are going to be called.
Fantastic. Hello, Chris and Peaches. First of all, I would like to thank you for everything you've done for everybody in the life and relationship advice you give to people. I would like to thank you both personally for the relationship advice, as both myself and my partner are autistic, same.
Both.
And really struggle with each other's cues and communication. We have found that with the help of your podcasts, you have shown us how to communicate better, how to move forward with problems, and how to improve on day-to-day life within a relationship. You have shown us that we could basically say fuck it to what everyone thinks, and we do as we want in a relationship, growing and showing each other true love after some previous messed up relationships, how to move past that trauma and the insecurities, etc. You're both amazing people and deserve all the best in life. Thank you for everything you do. It really means the world to us that you do what you do. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody, because today's the Christmas episode. And if you're watching this after Christmas, you missed out. We would have been able to tell you Merry Christmas. You should subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss this shit. You know how long it's been since we've done that? Comment, and subscribe. Share the content.
Ace Ventura was just really loud in the back of my mind going, losers.
Loser.
That's funny.
I need to do that.
Yeah. So, guys, since we haven't done this in a while, let me take the opportunity to tell you that the best way that you can support what we are doing is to share the content. Send it everywhere. Send it to people that you think need it. Send it to people that you think don't need it.
Send it to people who hate us.
Yeah. Well, they see it anyways. They're fans.
Who?
The people that hate us.
Oh, yeah. Live rent-free in their brains.
Yeah, they're fans.
Ready?
Yep.
This one is titled Christmas Episode.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Chris and Peaches. I've been watching the show for a few months now, and I thought I should send in an email because I don't normally interact, comment lives, etc.
Okay.
I normally just watch. I wanted to express some thoughts and feelings as your podcast has brought up a lot for me. Your podcast has challenged me in my beliefs in multiple ways. When I try discussing it with my husband, I actually become emotional because of how conflicted I feel.
Ooh.
I truly appreciate the relationship you two have. I have been with my husband since we were 14, together for 13 years and married for 3. I would consider myself an independent woman, but watching your podcast made me challenge and question why I've been carrying myself that way.
Because you've been taught to do so.
I agree. We are somewhat of a traditional couple, but with some back and forth with chores because of where we are in life. The conflict comes up because I used to believe that being in my masculine energy was a positive thing and a sign of a strong woman.
Strongly disagree.
Right. When I think of a strong woman, I think of a woman who embraces her femininity. Oh, it's in my notes. Hang on. I have to look this up real quick. I'm so sorry. It's so relevant. So I am currently listening to The Fascinating Woman for the Timeless Woman. The Fascinating Women for the Timeless Woman, or whatever it's titled. And I heard something in the book that triggered this thought, and it said, women can be strong, feminine leaders and great examples of courage, leadership, but success in this role is not the same and cannot be compared to a man's success as a leader. Because men lead differently, because men follow for different reasons.
Right.
So when I think of a strong woman, I think of a woman who is able to embrace her femininity, who has her boundaries, who is willing to mentor in a stern but nurturing and loving way. It's crazy to think that some women correlate to being in their masculine and as being viewed as a strong woman. You got nothing to say on that?
I agree.
All right.
I was waiting to see if there was more to that.
That's it.
I don't think that being I think that if you're not playing to your strengths, it's not real strength. So if you're a woman who's naturally feminine and you are leading into your masculinity super fucking hard to be super
Macho.
that's just not, I don't know, you're not being your authentic self. That's a facade, and it's not sustainable long term. I think that eventually it's going to destroy your mental processes.
Well, you're living a lie.
Yep. Or you're going to become somebody you don't recognize anymore.
And that's you becoming the lie.
Yep.
Back into the email. Although I still believe that independence can be a sign of strength, your podcast has shown me that I'm able to put that down and enter my feminine energy in my relationship. Your podcast has also helped my communication style with my husband. We both have ADHD, and communicating tends to be a weak spot for us.
Before you pick that back up, I would just like to say that your independence just means you're an adult. If you're married, you don't have independence.
Right.
You have a teammate. You guys are supposed to be a cohesive unit.
Mm-hmm.
You've cleaved together. You don't get independence at that point. You're not an independent woman. You're married.
Right.
Get that phrase needs to leave your mind altogether if you're married.
Yeah.
Because you're not independent anymore. You are part of a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to be a part of a team, don't get married because you can't do both.
I agree. Listening and learning from your relationship and the advice you give on the pod has made communication significantly better.
Dope.
Although I don't completely identify with being submissive, I have learned that allowing myself to put my guard down and giving my husband the opportunity to show up for me has made us both feel more in sync and makes both of us feel more empowered in our roles.
It's the way that's supposed to be. That is the design function of us as a species.
Right. But in marriage, like, that is a submission to one another.
It is. It absolutely is.
So I'm just confused by I don't completely identify with being submissive.
Well, I mean, that submissive term could go into a lot of different categories there.
Yeah.
But again, that's also a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that she's going through right now, she's going through because she's been taught
Right.
that all of these things are bad, which is why she said that some of the conversations have led to her crying and frustrated because we've challenged her thought process so much. There's nothing wrong with submitting to your person.
No, there's not. I'm glad that they're starting to feel more in sync.
Me too.
That's a big
dope as
deal.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And feeling empowered in your role is how you feel productive in your day. It makes you feel better at night going to bed knowing that you did something not just to the betterment of yourself, but it bettered your household.
It's fulfilling.
It is. With that being said, thank you for putting yourselves out there and allowing us viewers to get insight into your dynamic. I wish you the best of luck in the new year and a Merry Christmas. Maybe Santa will bring Chris some awesome whiskey.
Well, that would be dope. That would be super dope.
That would be pretty dope.
We have a P.O. box if anybody would like to send me bourbon. I'm just saying.
I almost haven't memorized because I say it so much on the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
1181 North Sumter
Boulevard, box 361, 33948.
Northport, Florida.
Yeah. Zip code was 33948.
Piece it together, guys.
Yep. 1181
South Sumter Boulevard.
box 361, Northport, Florida 33948. No. 34289.
I thought it was 34289. I was like, that doesn't sound right to me, but he's saying it so confidently. Maybe I'm wrong.
34289.
34289.
The other one was for the old tattoo shop that got destroyed during the hurricane.
Really? That's funny.
I have all kinds of addresses and shit memorized. I even have some of my credit card numbers memorized. What does that say about me? You can call me Rain Man, bitches. Okay, I don't. I'm not even close to that.
It's
But
raining man.
wrong category there.
Hallelujah. It's raining my husband on me.
I meant Rain Man.
Right, I know.
248.
246 total.
Rain Man.
Right, I know. Another email updated. You asked for it.
Be a lot of those.
Yeah.
Because that's how I asked for it.
My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 5 years now. We moved in together at 6 months, and after about a year of being together, our honeymoon phase ended. It became hard to communicate with my partner, and mental illness didn't help. Then your podcast started popping up on both of our For You page. We would send them to each other and ask what we thought about whatever topic was being talked about. Anyways, that led us to listening to full podcasts. We would pause the podcast I'm so over this nasal phlegm shit. I feel like I'm trying to inhale through like plastic strung up in my airways. It's just stupid.
Now you know what turtles feel like. No.
I can't believe this. I recycle, I promise.
So stupid.
We would pause the podcast whenever him or I heard something we wanted to talk about or see what the other was thinking. We really like to do this when we are going on long road trips.
Love that.
Oh my gosh. So when we audiobook, people audiobook us.
Yeah. Here's a crazy thing to think about. If you guys are on a long road trip and you're listening to us, we're with you in the car.
I'm just glad I could be a part of it.
Yeah. Hope you're having dope conversations with good views.
I really do wish that.
If you're behind a log truck, move.
Yes. And a new fear unlocked today. We pulled up next to that flatbed pulling those red dumpster can things.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a new one for me because those straps did not look very secure on that truck.
Yeah, I feel like you ratchet our dirt bikes down better than that.
Probably.
Anyways, listening to your podcast has helped me individually as I am able to see areas that I needed to improve on. It's also helped me to become more reflective and aware of how I handle certain situations when they occur. It has also benefited our relationship so much. We communicate so much better than what we were. Don't get me wrong, there's still communication. There's still miscommunication, but less of it. There's even been topics that we haven't talked about that would be brought up in your podcast. Thank you for helping me become more reflective and for helping aid in having certain conversations Thank you for helping me become more reflective and for helping aid in having certain conversations with my partner. We are forever grateful. Thank you.
These conversations are really cool to have. And knowing that you guys are growing from it the same way that we are is super fucking cool because this podcast has made us change. We have had conversations that we otherwise would not have had, and we got to learn the ins and outs of each other better because of it. This podcast has definitely made us closer.
Yeah.
It's definitely tested the shit out of us at times too, but it has made us
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah. I fart in front of you now.
Yeah, yes you do. Can't believe you just put that on the podcast, but ladies and gentlemen, it's not the first kiss, it's the first fart.
I want to clarify. I've always farted in front of him, but it's always been followed by an "I'm sorry." Like, now it's unapologetic, and I hope he chokes.
God, that's fucked up. That's so wrong. And I hope he chokes.
I'm kidding.
Oh, that's funny. You got me last night.
I added it in there for funny effects.
It was definitely funny.
I did get you. I'm so sorry about that one.
Women don't fart, they floof.
No, I could kill a small animal.
Last night you could have. It was bad.
I've never gotten you like that, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of proud of it. I feel like I'm on par with you now.
Not even close.
No?
No, you don't want to play that game.
I kind of do.
No, you don't. You don't. All it would take is one protein shake. It's game
Yeah.
over.
Now I'm like picturing us jumping on each other to fart and running away, giggling and shit.
Well, this is divulged into disgusting. Farts are funny. But now you guys know that Peaches farts.
Yeah.
You just ruined the wet dream of many, many men that listen to our podcast.
Really? Don't say that. That's gross. So into the email. Hello there, Chris and Peaches. I found your TikToks back in March of this year and binged a lot of them between my busy schedule. Occasionally showing them to my friends and family, and quite a few of just the little clips got me thinking about my past relationship trauma and experiences in my life. My boyfriend and I got together back in July. We have known each other since 2018. We haven't had any issues, but I want to be the best version of me and build something great with this man. I found myself diving into your podcast head first, listening while working 8 to 11-hour days. On the drives home, I was and still am reflecting on everything I have heard and applying it to myself to take accountability and change my actions and mindset. So far, I'm on episode 23, listening to Apple Podcasts and occasionally from YouTube at home. You are in for a doozy. You are about to be in the thick of the hurricane. And then you're going to come out the other side and things are going to get so much better, I promise. What was it, episode 31?
30.5
Yeah, 30.5.
was a turning point for us.
Here comes the part where my lovely boyfriend comes in. He has also had a few hard relationships in the past, but attended therapy before we got together, and it helped him a lot. We watched an episode of The Side Piece together, the Gentleman Podcast, and he loved Chris's take on being a gentleman, realizing he did many of those things instinctively. He trains kickboxing, Muay Thai,
Yeah.
Kinpo, and BJJ.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, wow.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai?
Yeah.
When I mentioned that I heard Chris talk about martial arts a few times in the podcast, his face lit up, discussing with me many of the points they had heard from you a couple hours earlier. I listen more than he does due to our opposite schedules, and he is not allowed headphones at work. However, if I hear something interesting from you two, or that we can apply to us, he is more than willing to talk about it and hear me out. We have set boundaries, goals for the relationship, implemented check-ins, and improved both of our communication skills. He and I are doing so well and are currently sharing your podcast to pretty much anyone that will listen or needs to hear what y'all have to say.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That is how we progress further with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Put this in somebody's hands over and over and over again. Also, the next step for you guys is a vision board, 6 months, 1 year, and 3-year plans. If you haven't done that yet, do that.
I just wanted to thank the both of you for helping me to be the best woman I can be and helping us to build the best relationship either of one of us has had from essentially the ground up. Thanks a million for all that y'all do, and have a blessed Christmas. I love this.
It's fun.
This is making me happy.
This is one of those things, too, that I feel it's important to say that we are not doing anything other than having conversations and regurgitating shit that we've read or heard.
Correct.
Things that we have implemented that has worked for us, we are now giving back.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are the ones that are doing the work. You're listening to the podcast. You're putting the hours in. Some of you are taking notes and you're improving your life. You are improving your life. All we're doing is having conversations. The knowledge is out there. You just got to find it and figure out how to implement it into your life, because knowledge isn't power. Power, utilization of the knowledge is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a year and we have people saying that everything in our relationship has turned around because we've listened to you guys.
Yep.
That's wild. This one is titled, I Was Triggered, and thank you because I was the problem.
Yeah. We all are. That's it though.
That's it, yeah. Hey y'all, I can't believe I'm typing this. I have watched you guys since before the pod started. Eek. I was gonna do like the fangirl sound, but I didn't want to startle myself or you. I'm not gonna say names, but this is a 28-year-old female. I have a 4-year-old little boy who is the coolest and most obnoxious person on the planet. It's the age, man. I first found Chris's content on TikTok while looking for resources on how to be a better man, because I am currently a single mom raising a future father, husband, and most importantly, an adult. And I'll be damned if he won't have the best tools to navigate his life due to the decisions that I've made. Good for you. You have already done so much more than a vast majority of single moms.
Yep.
Currently going through a divorce, a man who I thought I'd follow until the end of the earth. We had both known one another since riding the school bus and grew up down the street from each other. We dated on and off throughout high school and eventually committed, got married, and had a child 1 year later. I'll spare you the traumatic, gritty details of everything, but after 5 years of marriage, we split. The split ended 4 years of his cheating, verbal and physical assaults, and absolute madness. I was devastated. I didn't understand why my husband, who had been so hardworking before our marriage, so motivated, had become someone who had not worked or lifted a finger and became unfaithful, volatile, and violent. Probably because I was unsupportive, nagging, and just generally not working as a team and against him every single day. I'm not excusing his behavior, but it takes two to tango. I'm processing that. Because he has physically abused her, verbally abused her, and changed who he was as a man. And reflecting on that, if you trace it back and you notice that he started just calling you a bitch, that was the first tip off that something's happening, and you recognize that your combative behaviors pushed him to be more verbally aggressive in a sense. I read a direct quote on an episode of The Garden today from The Proper Care and Feeding of a Husband. She said, if you are going to act like a bitch, you're going to get treated like a bitch.
Yep.
So, of course, there's never an excuse for any sort of abuse. As she said, it does take two to tango.
The amount of women that I've seen hit men and then claim abuse when the men hits her back.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That whole situation is fucked up to me, but
Yeah. And it's a very deep conversation. There's multiple branches to that.
right. Yep. Obviously not saying that that's what happened there. I'm just saying that I have witnessed that shit happen.
Right. Back into the email. I thought I was being a good woman. I worked 2 jobs, had a college degree, bought a house for us to live in, etc. But my attitude fucking sucked. My temperament fucking sucked. My teamwork fucking sucked, and I knew better. I thought I knew everything. I did everything without his guidance because I knew better. I was in this feminist mindset that poisoned not only myself, but also my marriage. I was not supportive. Our home was a battlefield, and I never yielded, not even on simple stuff. On top of that, he was struggling with his mental health and has recently been diagnosed with BPD, which he was using whiskey to temper in battle.
Ooh. Oh, man. That's bad. You guys don't realize that alcohol is a depressant.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're already depressed and you use alcohol as like a crutch,
Make it worse.
it makes it worse. And if you get drunk and hungover the next day and take naproxen or ibuprofen, it makes it that even worse. So like, yep. I think the number was 43% when I read that article. It increases your
Wow.
depression by 43%.
That's wild.
Yeah, I don't know how they got the number, but I'm almost positive that was the number. It was in the 40s. It was low 40s. Might have been 44, but
Back into the email.
hold on.
Okay.
Just wait a second. She just took a whole lot of accountability.
Right.
And I'm not taking away from that. But for just a second, can we appreciate the fact that she realized that feminist shit that has been pushed on women that she adapted destroyed her marriage, and she
owns it.
She owns it.
Mm-hmm.
But she recognizes that all of that shit is the reason her marriage failed.
I believe that is a big contributor to the reason my first marriage failed too, is all of the feminist bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
The same way that she has laid herself out in here was the same way that I was.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that we can't just live our lives and be happy in the moment. We have to allow other people to dictate our thoughts and actions. And all of those women are miserable.
They are.
Like, why would you listen to somebody who's unhappy in their marriage about marriage advice?
Right.
That's why I don't believe in marriage counselors. And I know that I'm going to get a lot of hate for that. I don't. You have no idea what was going on in their lives. They could have been divorced 10 fucking times and they're doing marriage counseling.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot.
It is a lot to think about. Back into the email?
Sure.
After a lot of thought, I think things became the way they were because he couldn't talk to me and he had no outlet. I wasn't empathetic. I got more hostile over time. Kind of understandable, but kind of not. Of course, you don't submit to a man not worthy of it, but the man I married was. The man I left was a shell of himself, and I had a hand in that. What a tough pill to swallow when you're committed to the victim card. We are still no contact 2 years later, but within these 2 years, I've been able to not only forgive him, but also myself. I can't explain the changes y'all are making to the lives of people listening by being open about your mental health. I would have never been able to understand the splitting, the back and forth of everything or nothing, or the roller coasters he was experiencing during all of that. A roller coaster I'd buckle in for the front seat for. But enough of that, because surprisingly enough, this email isn't about my past marriage. While it does add to context, the part of my life is healed. The person who I was from that time is gone. Why do you ask? Mrs. Peaches. Anytime you are of a group, be of that region, race, religion, whatever, the people unwilling to see their own faults will always lash out at you. I could have been one of them. I was a boss babe, and I was miserable. After discovering Chris's TikTok account, I quickly found yours, and immediately I was angry, and I mean I was pissed. Because I was a good woman, right? I started a small business, I paid the bills. That was enough to be a good partner. But this woman in Florida had a confidence in herself and a commitment to herself that I didn't have and I wanted. Who looked like me, pink hair, tattoos, piercings, and all. I absolutely cringe on who I was even a year ago. When I tell you your commitment to absolute accountability and unwillingness to take even your own BS snatched me by my wig and gave me a good 2-piece combo KFC would be envious of. It took me 6 good months of sitting with my anger, of piece by piece ironing out why with each of y'all's uploads I would feel angry. So before we continue on, if you guys have not checked out the garden segment on our Patreon, I think I highly recommend it. As I said before, I am currently covering the proper care and feeding of a husband. And this emailer just said, I started a small business and I paid the bills. That was enough to be a good partner. In the most recent episode of The Garden that I recorded, I had a bullet point that I commented on where the author said that she thought that somehow a good marriage existed outside of her efforts. And that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people living in that mindset. The emailer just admitted to that.
It's crazy to think that that is what most men do, and women say that that's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And yet for a woman, they believe that's enough. I started my own business and I pay my own bills.
Mm-hmm.
I have money. Well, men do that shit all the time, and you guys tell us it's not enough.
Right.
So if it's not enough for us, and that's known
It's not
talking
acceptable.
points,
Right.
especially in the feminist movements, why would it be okay for you?
Right. Back into the email. And yet I kept watching. When you guys started a Patreon, I subscribed.
Even though you were angry with us?
Right.
You were a fan.
I'm still a silent member of the Discord. Y'all are a hoot in there. I was hungry for an answer, and I was not receiving it in the current toxic culture of what it means to be a woman.
I love that you just said that out loud. I fucking love that you just said that out loud.
I hope she says that oh gosh, if she found it here with us, I might cry.
Yeah.
I want women to feel safe and secure in being a fucking woman. And to be a woman is to not be a man.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous and it's beautiful and it's powerful and I want women to experience life the way I experience life. And until back into the email. And until I was able to put my sword and armor down, I never got it. All this I can do everything by myself bullshit was a charade that I had been carrying for so long, I hadn't even remembered it was a lie in the first place. Because we all believe the lies we tell ourselves eventually, right?
Stories.
Mm-hmm.
Those are stories. I really want to do that R&R.
Okay.
We'll get to it, but
I want to be soft. I want to be a wife again, to cook and clean and be a safe space where my partner can shed the weight of the world off of his shoulders. To be able to communicate and conduct myself with grace. I want my home to be a sanctuary filled with my plants and there always be a hot meal on the table. And I am the start of that. So while I know you guys have to be fucking exhausted, thank you. Thank you, Peaches, for showing me that it's okay to want to be soft and how to sit with what I'm going through and not let it make me hard. How to be a feminine woman and cry and laugh and love others, and how to absolutely crush it at the same time. That past experiences of our lives do not dictate our future, we do. To say that I want a traditional marriage in a time where tradition is spit on and attacked and ostracized, and still be bad bitches doing it. Like, okay, coffee line, garden segment, and soap line. For encouraging me on my healthy eating habits, Taco Bell in the tub was also my favorite. I'm down 62 pounds and counting.
Taco Bell in the tub.
I love Taco Bell in the tub.
TNT.
I want to clarify that the coffee line was my husband's idea. That was all Chris is doing. He set all of that shit up. He's managing all of that. I'm stoked you're excited about the bath line, though, and the garden segment. Thank you. Chris, thank you for being an example of how to be vulnerable and strong at the same time, to allow us to see how much you care for Peaches and how a man that loves his woman will treat and move for her, guide her, and encourage her. I have never seen that successfully done, and what a realization to have as a single woman. The business side of things you share has my head turning on how to restart and upscale my small business. Thank you both, encouraging us all to be better. Do you see what I did there?
Yep.
I pray God continues to bless y'all in everything you do.
So do we.
So do we.
Almost every day. Almost every day. Real shit, we pray for you guys. Like, we legit pray for you guys. We pray for our listeners. We pray for the podcast. We actually ask for guidance when we sit down and read these emails so that we're not just spewing nonsense. Like, we do want to continue to grow this thing.
Update, you asked for it.
Big shock there. I specifically said title it this so that it doesn't get missed.
I have no idea how we're going to let you guys know who the email is who.
That's right. They know who wrote what.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call this episode.
You know what's what.
Update, you asked for it.
First and foremost, I'm a fairly new listener of the To Be Better podcast, going on 6 months now.
I mean, you're halfway there then, because this is the
about to
1 year
say.
episode.
You're not that far behind.
Yeah.
Mostly TikTok and YouTube. I am a 24-year-old female living alone now for 3 years, and I have struggled with major anxiety and depression for almost as long as I can remember. Bad upbringing from divorced parents who to this day still can't stand each other. I've tried therapy, I've tried the medication, but without myself wanting to change, nothing was going to change. I always thought myself as of lower value, coming from poverty and not having a solid foundation in my youth. Since I've come to watch To Be Better, it's like a light switch has been turned on. The main practice I've followed is that we choose our emotions and situations, and has helped me in ways that I've never thought possible. I've always been such a Debbie Downer, so to speak, never having a kind word for myself. I let others treat me based on how I viewed myself. I have had the realization I am my own enemy. And without trying to better myself, there is no way I could try to have a healthier partnership. I am in my era of self-care, but I don't think that I could be where I am today without you guys. I appreciate it every day, and I try to watch you guys every day just as a reminder that things will get better, that I may learn new ways to view life as well as myself, and that I have a chance to find someone who sees me for me, not just a body. The gratitude I have is immense, and I think you guys have really saved my life.
You cry?
Yeah.
What?
That's a lot. I'm glad the emailer's still here.
Yeah. Yep. She said that she was allowing people to treat her the way that she viewed herself.
Yeah.
And that's common for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts in childhood.
It does.
When you're told you're not good enough, and your parents say things like, "What are you, stupid?" And like all of that negative self-doubt that is instilled in us by our teachers and our parents carries into our adulthood. And we allow people to treat us the way that we view ourselves.
I agree with that. I think it also comes down to a lot of parents say, I'm your parent, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then I'm your husband, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm your wife, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm your boss, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It creates a really weird power struggle.
Yep. A lot of helplessness and all of that because you believe that you are helpless in all of that.
So my TISM's not going to let me not just read the title of the email, even though we know it's going to be the same thing. I have to read it.
Okay.
Update, you asked for it. 24-year-old of 6 divorces here.
Holy fuck.
26-year-old daughter of 6 divorces here.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
That's way different than 24 and 6 divorces.
Okay. I was like, did I fuck that up? I did. 24-year-old daughter of 6 divorces here.
Okay.
I've been watching since your first episode, and you guys have genuinely helped me. The way I ran my relationships before I found you guys versus after finding y'all is like 2 different people. Growing up, by age 18, I was on my 5th dad. I won't get into dark details. I won't get into dark details, but a couple of them weren't nice. From that, I was taught to feel that all men were bad, they can't be trusted, I'll never be enough, and that there simply weren't any good men. Seeing my mom go through 6 failed marriages gave me massive trust issues and relationship issues in general.
Can we just take a minute to pause and acknowledge that your mom was the common denominator in every one of those marriages?
Yeah, I was about to say, don't judge the men, judge your mother's choices.
Right.
Learn from her mistakes, recognize the patterns that she fell into, and don't date the men she dated.
Right, and or behave like her.
Right. I won't air her dirty laundry out, but long story short, she would meet a man, get married, and about 3 years later it would go sour. She'd realize she wasn't happy in her personal life, blame it on the marriage, and bam, us kids were getting drugged through another divorce. When it finally came time for me to date, I found myself in unhealthy relationships. No dark details here, but tons of cheating and some physical abuse issues. I didn't leave because I thought those were the ups and downs. I thought it was normal. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and I got out.
And this is why we tell people all the time that you are the example that you're setting for your children in their relationships.
Yeah. That ups and downs was a very real thing for me. Like, no shit, being with you is my first healthy relationship. It took a very long time for that waiting for the other shoe to fall feeling to go away. Because I was so used to chaos, having peace and quiet was scary.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel that way at all?
I felt a lot of things in life. My life now is very different than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Yep. Up until the last 3 days, my mental health is better than it's ever been. I went through a fucking 7-year depression. 6 years depression. But I've been a fucking mess my whole life. Things have just kind of done a whole lot of work.
Okay. Flash forward to turning 22, I found myself a healthy relationship with a very good, high-value man. Navigating a healthy relationship for the first time in my life was something that I felt so clueless and lost on.
I wonder why she called him high value. I hate that term so much. Those are buzzwords, right? Like, narcissist bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
When people use the gaslighting or stonewalling conversations, normally they're misusing those terms.
Right.
But to hear somebody say that they found themselves a high value man, are you saying that he's a man of quality of character and he has integrity, or are you saying that he's got money?
Right.
Because that's the high value man narrative, is that he's 6 foot, 6 figures, 6-pack. And if that's what you've got, you don't have a high value man. You have somebody that's got a little bit of money.
Right.
That's not, I don't know. Anyways, every time I hear that, it makes me want to roll my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And though I hope that that's not what she means by that, hearing that, if that's the case, I don't know. I'm going to just stop talking because I don't want to insult them and I don't want to downplay what they got. And if they're happy, they're happy. But
I think high quality would have been better.
Or a man with integrity.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be ever. I don't care if I had $10 million in the bank. I don't want to be listed as a high value man if my quality of character is not there. You're not an asset if you're a fuckface. Having money doesn't mean shit. You can always make more money.
Right.
Is he high value because you put a high value on him? How about that? Does he check all those boxes? 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 checked? Because that would make somebody high value.
Mm-hmm.
To me, you could be fucking dead broke. 9 out of 10 boxes, 8 out of 10 boxes, and you're a high value motherfucker for that person. Because they see your worth.
Right.
Yeah. I hate the narrative of the dating scene.
Me too.
So much. I cannot wait to get out of this onesie.
I found your guys' podcast, and it was preaching on accountability, changing your learned toxic behaviors, and what my job as the not wife but girlfriend is. When I met boyfriend, 25 years old, I didn't know what it was, but I randomly wanted to get into dolling up for him and having supper ready for him when he got home from his welding job. His PJs laid out on the bed and his lunch prepped for work the next day. Sometimes I even bake him cookies to sneak into his lunchbox as a cute surprise on his lunch. The idea of him working incredibly hard and on his lunch break opening up a meal and cookies with a love note makes me cry. I didn't know what this meant at the time. I didn't realize that him being such a provider and masculine role... I hadn't realized that him being such a provider and masculine role made me want to feel feminine again. We are only 2 years in, but we are still in what feels like a honeymoon phase. He is healing the little girl inside of me and doesn't even know it.
That phase is only a phase if you allow it to be.
Right.
This could be your life,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what you choose to do.
If it wasn't for your podcast, I don't know that I would have been able to navigate a relationship like this. We would have gotten through it, but I wouldn't have done the self-work that was needed, which could have caused issues down the line. I don't know if you guys know this, but you guys are doing the jobs majority of parents chose not to do. There are notes that I've taken from your podcast that I will someday teach my future children. I'm sure that you are aware that you guys are changing lives, but I don't think you realize how much today's dating culture needed people like you. I'm sure I speak for all of your fans when I say this, but I pray that you guys continue to do what y'all are doing and that this podcast continues to grow and bring great things to your family. You deserve it.
Season 2 starts in 1 week.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I think we should start season 2 with the stories episode. Or at least do the first half of the podcast with the stories episode and then get into emails. I don't know.
Update, you asked for it. I am so surprised that you're not tired of my ass yet.
No. Why would I be tired? Why would I be tired of you?
Huh?
Why would I be tired of you?
I don't know.
Shit's funny to
I
me.
saw that face rub.
It was the staring at me before you said it. It was like, I know that I shouldn't taste this, but I'm going to taste this. But babe, it's gasoline. I know, I can't help it. Like,
No. I'm excited for this garlic bread.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to come home with it and get super comfy and get really medicated. Oh my gosh, do I have a ritual? I want to get super cozy on the couch with my feet on your lap with you holding my feet because that warmth and callous pressure is really nice. And I get super cozy under my blanket and I get something up on my shoulders and I like to snuggle in. And then I'm going to have garlic bread on my lap. And we're going to be watching The Stand or something. That's such a good show. It's getting super freaky.
Yeah. I think that show would have done a whole lot better had it not come out during COVID.
No, did it really stop?
I mean, obviously it's a remake, but
No.
yeah.
Poor marketing choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm almost positive they aired that during COVID. I know that there was a couple of shows that they discontinued or they were getting ready to air and they decided against it because of that. That show
Really?
Contagion that was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Hi, Chris and Peaches. I've been listening to podcasts for a few months now while working. I've been listening to everything that has been posted on Spotify in order. I am now on R&R episode 13, Romance Novels. Yes, the smut reading.
Yep.
I have really oddly been getting a lot of TikToks about people who sell smut books as like monthly packages. And I'm very uncomfortable by it.
Yeah.
I'm being bamboozled because I like book talk. So like I'll see new books about adventure things or self-help. I'm like, ooh, I like that. And I see someone packaging something and I heart it. And they're like from your favorite smut seller. And I'm like, oh no, I'm uncomfortable. Now I have to resend my heart. Because I don't support corn.
Yeah.
I do feel really bad about taking that heart away.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
It's not like they know.
If it's a small count, they know. I stumbled across a random woman's, she does holistic and apothecary things, and she forages in the woods near her house. And I was scrolling through her TikTok, and she was pulling down moss or something off a tree. And I was one of 2 comments on that video, and I was like, what are you foraging? And I scrolled like 5 or 6 more videos, and she was like, this is what I foraged in the woods. And I was like, oh, I found it. Never mind. And she commented back. She was like, I saw your other comment. This is hilarious.
That's funny.
So people who get small interactions see all of it.
I wonder how that makes people feel.
Hmm.
Because when I didn't have a following, I didn't have a creator with 1 million followers commenting on my shit.
Yeah.
Like, I like interacting with small creators.
Me too. Yeah.
You know?
I share a lot of things or like repost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't repost ever.
No, I do. I find a lot of dog videos that I enjoy.
Yeah. Nope, I don't do that.
There was one with a seagull, like the accuracy of a seagull versus a raven or a crow. And there was a seagull just flopping its shit, missed all 3 crackers and fell off the windowsill. And the crow was just like, yoink. And I reposted that because it made me happy and I want to make other people happy.
Yeah, I send those videos to people. I don't repost them.
Hmm.
I wonder how that works in terms of content.
What do you mean?
Well, if somebody reposts our content, like as a share, do we get views based off of that? And if so, does it help the monetary aspect of the beta program?
You mean like people sharing a link to the video or reposting it within the app?
No, if they repost it within the app, because it shows up on their page as they reposted, right?
No. So to repost is to push it further into the algorithm so more people see it. So it's like somebody sharing a link to the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. Neat. You're going to cough.
This one doesn't have a limit. It doesn't vert for me to stop. It just tells me to go. I'm so irresponsible with it. I found it last night cleaning the couch.
Yeah. Where was it? In the couch?
Yeah. Which is crazy because I've lifted the cushion off of that couch looking for other things. I think fairies are messing with me. I'm kidding. I know it's Ghost. No, I'm kidding even further. I know that's a problem for you.
It's not a problem for me. Kids are the ones who think the house is haunted, not me.
I'm going to be honest. I think the house is haunted too.
It's not old enough to be haunted.
I don't know. I was walking up to the front door yesterday after throwing something away, and I heard the door lock. I heard the locking mechanism. I was like, this fucker, he saw me walk out the front door. And I hurried up, and I was super close to the door. And I opened the door, and you were still sitting at your computer. There was no way you would have been able to do anything to the door and make it back to your computer in time for me to be able to be like, cut you in the act.
I didn't hear any of that, so.
Which makes it even spookier.
Yeah.
I've also heard you calling me when you're not here.
That's wishful thinking.
Is it? I'll go with that. I like that. That makes me feel warm and fuzzy and not scared.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to do paranormal shit.
Yeah. It'd be cool if you actually make it onto a TV show.
Could you imagine?
It'd be dope.
I think I would do very well.
I think it'd be highly entertaining.
I think people would enjoy it. Yeah.
I would watch that.
Me at Hallow Scream, I had people laughing their asses off. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get a hold of that guy and see if he was serious about putting us onto the Discovery Channel people.
That'd be so dope. Back into the email. I haven't sent an email before, but I wanted to send one today to express the gratitude that I feel towards you guys. I appreciate how you present yourselves and how you word things. I adore how Peaches looks at Chris and how you guys are able to joke around so easily with each other. Thank you for giving me the tools that I desperately need in order to improve my life. I am now able to express myself with better words, a better tone, and a better perspective of any situation. I've been together with my boyfriend for almost 8 months now, and we've known each other for a year and a half prior. I initially saw your podcast from clips on TikTok and delved into content more while realizing that I had been the problem in every relationship. Isn't that a staggering realization?
Yeah, but it's good.
Right, it is a good one. It is a very, like, in the moment of recognizing that you are part of the reason that every relationship has failed. It's a depressing feeling. There's an anxiety feeling. It's crushing, like, oh my God. And then after that, it's like a weight's been lifted and you can breathe.
Right, because you know that you are only responsible for you and you can fix your shit.
Right. There's a light at the end of the tunnel now. You are not stuck in an endless tornado of just darkness.
Every time we talk about shit like that and people are in the comments talking about how it's the other person, they're the problem, and you're victim blaming and all that bullshit.
Bless
I'm
your
like,
heart.
yeah, I'm like, you're not there yet. You'll get there. Don't worry. Don't worry, darling. You'll get there. Like,
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
You'll come around. You'll be like the last emailer who hated me and was pissed.
Yep.
I have been dating since age 12, and the longest break being 6 months, and now I'm 18. I hadn't taken the time to focus on myself because I feel like for years I gave to give, but never received anything in return. I think that we need to talk, like, as humanity, We need to talk to children that it's okay if they just have fun. Like, y'all don't need to be in a serious, committed relationship at 14 years old.
Right. Or sleeping with people.
Right. I was also 12, 13 years old, feeling like I needed to find the love of my life and settle down and shit. That, I missed out on so much because I was so focused on finding a man. Especially growing up with a single mom who was having a hard time finding a man. Like, I need to do this shit before everybody's gone.
Puppy love.
Yeah, just be 12. Oh, our kids are going to be preteens. I'm going to have so many conversations. My last relationship ended due to abuse, and I decided I had enough. I made a list of standards for what I wanted out of a man, and now I have it. My boyfriend meets and exceeds all of the standards that I have set. He also follows along with the podcast and has even listened to more of it than me. I'm so appreciative to have a good man in my life who has allowed me to put my barriers down and accept my femininity, of which I despised for so long. The podcast has helped me understand my mistakes, but it also has taught me to be better. It has also taught me how to be better with everything, with how I view the world and how I view myself. Earnestly, to Peaches, thank you for helping to teach me what it means to be a woman. The only mother figure I had growing up is my granny. While she did the best she could, I feel as though I've been too headstrong on not having that definitive woman in place of being mom. That I overlooked a lot of what she said and did for me. I treated her horribly growing up due to what I was experiencing at the time with a stepmom, childhood, really bad things. I deeply regret not acknowledging the efforts that she put in towards helping my dad raise me. She had her first kid at 13, and her last out of 4, my dad, was when she was in her early 20s. She exudes independence and power through how she presents herself and lives her life. I fear that her departure is getting closer as each day passes. She, for years, has had different types of cancer, breast, lung, and now rib. It's been hard for me to go over to her house due to me being selfish and not wanting to see her in that state because I don't think I can emotionally handle it. I see myself in her and through her, and I am able to see you and acknowledge that you lead with that same independence and power that she has. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to cry. Thank you for being vulnerable enough to talk about experiences that you have gone through. It does not go unnoticed nor appreciated. Thank you both from the bottom of my heart. You're helping me to be better. I appreciate the email. I'm glad that you guys are listening to the podcast and gaining something from it. I am wondering, though, how I exude independence or how I lead with independence.
What's a buzzword?
I'm not independent from you, everything that we do. I derive a lot of my strength to live from you.
So why not call it strength instead of independence?
Yeah, I would say strength.
It's a buzzword. That word is a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Yep. That ranks right up there to having a conversation with somebody where they blame everyone else for everything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad the emailer is also becoming comfortable in her femininity.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Uno mas. The update you asked for. They worded it differently.
They did word it differently.
Good evening. My wife and I feel like Dracula.
Good evening.
Good evening. I love that you just said it. You weren't like, what do you mean?
I took it as a newscaster when you said it. You went to Dracula. I went to newscaster.
I like it.
In my head, I heard the dee like the old
Yeah. The tuning in.
Yeah.
I love that our energies mesh and you do stupid things with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you don't judge me for doing the stupid things. I don't ever feel weird about it.
No.
Nope.
Do you like that I continue it?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I like the dancing we do.
I never thought that would be a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it now that it is?
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, life is fun. Yep.
I love you so hard right now.
It's funny. I love you so hard.
Oh, man. My wife and I send each other TikToks, and almost every evening we watch them together in bed. So a few months ago, she ran into you two. Immediately, the topics you two handled and reacted to were topics we found interesting as well. Be strong in the role you want to fulfill in your relationship. That really grinded my gears the right way. Why did my mind go like, yeah, like sand in your teeth? Something about the crunchiness does it for me.
Got it. So don't let you eat sand.
No, I am pretty disciplined. Like, logically, I know that that's not a thing to do.
I've heard you talk yourself out of things out loud.
No.
Yeah. They've all heard it. Anybody that follows the Life account has heard it. Because the
gator.
the YouTube Life account has got you going, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it.
That is the active discipline.
That's funny.
Oh, and you still love me. That makes me feel really good about me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a really cool guy. And you're into me. That must mean I'm at some level. I'm pretty cool. I'll take it. That's neat.
That's neat. I love you, woman.
I love you too, Daddy. Back into the email. If I can be strong as a male, not just outside our house, but especially inside, my wife can be herself in her feminine way. This kinda woke us up in our relationship and what we want to be for each other. I love that this is one from a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not saying I don't love all the ones from the women. Of course I do. I love that I can be an inspiration. I do love knowing that men also benefit from the things that we talk about. You give a lot of good information.
Yeah.
I learn a lot of things from you. You're the reason I'm able to think like a man.
That's funny.
Well, this is so stupid. What were the two people that had rings where they would like... Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about from Dragon Ball Z?
Is it from Dragon
Where
Ball
they
Z
point
where
and
they meld
touch?
into one
Yeah.
thing? Yeah. That's us in my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when we said, look at that shot at the same time of the bird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
That was pretty cool.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, because I went back through and edited that. It was the same thing. I literally was like, oh, that's a great shot. And you're like, that's a cool shot of the bird.
I was like, look at that shot.
That's funny.
That was a really dope moment for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever got edited.
No?
I don't know. I feel like it did.
I hope it did.
I'll have to ask them.
Okay. Besides that, there was another thing you said, but maybe a bit more info. The family I grew up with gave me a lot. They were good, loving parents, and I also have a brother. In former relationships, I have let my family influence my feelings about my partner, having their opinions form mine as well. With my wife, I said to myself, no way this is going to happen again. And so the battle started. It was tiring, and it took a lot of me and my wife. To this day, it is something I think about a lot, but I have set my peace to the situation. I can do a lot, but I can't change the people that want to stay how they are. So there I was, like half a year ago, kind of troubled by my family and watching a part of your episode where you said the words, or something like this, "You are my priority. If it's good with you, I'm good. And even then, I tried to think this way. It didn't work for me till I got that point. It was simpler than I thought before. She is my priority. I want to give this back to you since it's helped us a lot. Thanks. Oh, they're from the Netherlands.
Love that. Love that. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
It is.
You know, there's a term now going around the internet called leave and cleave. And it's
I have heard that.
yep.
Yeah.
You leave your parents and cleave to your partner, right? And leave and cleave has become a very like popular saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. Your spouse, the person that you marry, is supposed to be the most important thing to you.
Yeah.
It's just all there is to that. And if you live by that, everything else kind of falls into place.
And it's unfortunate when parents don't recognize that.
Yeah, but if parents want to be involved and you set those standards and you set boundaries and you adhere to them, they're eventually going to fall in line.
Yeah.
Parents are really fucking good at overstepping and trying to look out for your best interests.
Right. While satiating a need in them, like
Right.
an emotional need.
For
maybe.
whatever it is. And there's almost always something there, even if they just don't like your person.
Right.
They don't have to like, you don't have to like my person because it's my person.
Right.
Lil Wayne said, don't worry about what's in my cup. It's in my cup.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
That's the way I feel about the relationship. Don't worry about what's in my relationship. It's my relationship. You can keep all that negative shit to your fucking self because it's not going to change my thought process, and what's going to end up happening is it's going to make me not like you.
Yeah.
Save that shit. I don't want to hear it. Hey, shout out to Shauna and Topher.
Yes.
Right?
I think about them
I do
sometimes. I
too.
pray for them a
we,
lot.
We still get updates from them, but we
Yeah.
stopped reading them because I felt like it was an ongoing saga of the Monster Slayer, and it just was, you know, it got to the point where people didn't need to keep hearing about their life. But
yeah.
think about them a lot too. She still hops in the Discord every once in a while when I'm in there. I see her chatting.
Yeah.
But and the husband to be is now the husband.
He is now the husband.
Yep.
Thank you guys for being here.
It's wild, and like you know,
it's a lot.
And there's been people who have been here since the very beginning who are still rocking with us, and like it's dedication. You know.
Yeah, I can't wait to start doing meet and greets
Soon.
It's so dope to run into you guys in public.
Yeah, we bought a van.
We did.
And it's so far it's just been for dirt bikes, but it's getting vinyl wrapped soon. Shout out to Jordan from Buffalo Graphics who does all my vinyl wrapping. Once that's done, it will be time to start planning like excursions. I would like to do another Discord meet and greet, like an actual Discord meet and greet where we do like a raffle or something for people and do like 10 tickets and just do a dinner somewhere.
Oh, that'd be so dope.
I would also like to, at some point in 2024, do something where we fly people in.
Okay.
Like somewhere from in the United States to come and like have dinner with us and then like have a vacation at Disney or Orlando or whatever, and then they go home.
I know this is a lot. Like this would be a lot for me, and I'm recognizing that. Why are you already grinning?
Because I have no idea what you're about to say, and I'm so engaged.
I want to cook a buffet style thing where we could do a meet and greet and people are able to eat the food that I cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would we make it? That could happen in Tennessee. They would have to come to the cabin or wherever we're at.
Yeah.
But that could happen.
We could set up a tent or something.
Yeah.
Of course, we would have armed security.
Well, I mean, we have that anyways. But if we did that in Tennessee and did a meet and greet at a cabin that we're renting, I mean, it would just be a big dinner. We'd have to find a table that's got like 8 to 10 chairs.
But we can't just be having random people coming to the cabin we're staying at.
Right. But if we got Dakota, Joe, Steve,
right,
and then obviously the two of us, that's half the table.
What about the rest of the time we're staying there?
Well, we'd plan that for the day after or the day before we leave.
Okay.
I mean, we have armed security that's with us 24/7 when we're on vacation anyways.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool thing.
I would like to do that.
Yeah. Well, we should really sit down and talk about that then.
Mashed potato, chicken pot pie casserole.
I love chicken pot pie. Yep.
Biscuits and gravy.
I want to end this episode with our typical outro, and then I want to say a blurb about it that's going to lead into our first episode next year.
Okay.
Our first actual episode, right? Because we're going to do so you guys hearing this on Christmas Day or whenever you hear this, the next episode that you're going to hear is a best of To Be Better, because it falls on New Year's Day and we're not working New Year's Day. So the actual episode 2 of season 2 will be a podcast. We have, for the last 5 or 6 months, said, remember, you are the author of your own story, so grab a pen and we will see you on the next one. And that story is going to be a very big part of season 2, because we are the authors of our own stories. And you and I have had a major conversation about how we want to address that. But all of the people that have written in are telling us their story, and they're telling us who they were as a character in their story, and then they got information and they are rewriting their story. This is, their life has hit that pivotal hero moment.
Character development.
Right, where like that thing happened that transformed them to go and slay dragons. Right? Like they're no longer the shisty fucking people.
Are we Yoda?
No.
Oh.
No. Nope. We will never be that cool, unfortunately. I would be okay with even being like a little bit of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Or a Sith. I don't think that would happen. I would absolutely be a Sith Lord.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if the Force was real and I had a choice, I would definitely go to the dark side.
Oh, a Sith is a dark side.
Yeah, I would be evil. Absolutely would be evil.
I'd be good, and our love could never be. We would have moments in battle where we see each other.
This whole conversation, I would be Darth Vader. Yeah, absolutely. Anakin Skywalker and the situation that he was in, yes, I understand that he did the shit to himself.
I'm going to be honest, I've never seen Star Wars. Oh, the eyes are twitching.
Have you? Oh my God! How did I not know this?
I have told you. I think that you repressed it.
Maybe because I don't want to hear that ever again.
You said that last time too.
Have you at least watched all of the Lord of the Rings?
All of the Lord of the Rings.
Like all of them. The Hobbit too, like all 6.
I've seen all of the Hobbit movies. The Lord of the Rings.
Are you fucking serious right now? If I had something soft to throw at you, I would totally bing you in the head right now.
I have like snippets. Like I don't know if I've watched it or if it's like a fever dream of me filling in things I've seen on the internet. Gandalf.
Yeah.
Walks up to him and he's like, "We're going on an adventure." And he was like, "What do you mean it's a Tuesday?"
Those are fever dreams, babe. Fuck my life.
Or is that me summarizing what happened?
I think that's how you took it. Oh,
and they end up going on an adventure. Some of his Hobbit friends come with him. They have a lot of meals. I think I am recalling a fever dream.
So for all of you Lord of the Ring fans out there, just know that they could have skipped a whole lot of shit if Gandalf would have just called those birds and flew them where they needed to go in the beginning of the movie instead of waiting until they were in peril. And with that being said, guys, remember that you are the authors of your own life.
So grab a pen.
We will see you next year.
Bye, guys.